We
Awesome.
go, the real ones.
We are recording as we are getting ready to go live on Facebook.
It is
And
Monday and we are feeling fine.
that's
I
right.
don't have anything that rhymes with Monday, but
Well, let's
Monday
just talk
fun
about
day.
Monday. As we're talking, or as we're getting connected into Facebook Live, let's just say Monday is the best day ever, because people always talk about, how horrible Mondays are. I love Mondays. I'm so excited.
I am too. I love Mondays. I actually don't work out like Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. So Monday's like my day to get back and to eat really well and to feel really good. So
Nice.
I love Mondays.
Yeah, that's awesome. And again, it's all about mindset, right? I mean,
Totally.
It's like when people dread Mondays, it's like, yeah, you're just calling in that dread.
Yeah. What do you think you're going to experience when you feel that way, right? You're just slowing down the energy of all these wonderful things that could be happening for you.
Yep.
That's
exactly.
Good stuff. So are we live?
Nope. I'm typing in. This is like a multi-step process to get into the live.
And you're so amazing to do it every time. We have 969 members.
Wow. That's awesome.
Pretty cool. I love that.
I love it too.
Yes, I'm just I'm going to watch this to see if you pop up on my thing.
Oh yeah, good idea. See, because and it'll probably be 20 seconds after I actually say
do the deal.
Oh yeah. What's the title of our show today?
Let's just call it frequency tuning, because I want to talk about that.
Good idea.
Yeah. And I think the whole subject is going to be around how to tune our frequencies.
I love it. We've been doing some powerful work with our group with the frequency tuning. Holy cow. By the way, I sent you the
yes, thank you so much. Yeah, and it was really cool because I felt like we all saw evidence of it like right after we did financial frequency tuning, which is so epic. Tuned our frequencies to abundance, and I saw evidence like the next morning, and I know we had some other people that did too, so it's really cool.
Yeah.
You okay? You're kind of
I'm wobbly. It's on a chair.
Don't fall off the bed, Lisa.
Whoa. No, I'm all good.
Lisa is coming to us from her bed.
Yeah. I actually moved out to the couch. I needed a little more light.
Oh, are you on the couch?
I
totally thought that was the bed.
Oh yeah, no. But this is my new quilt that I just won at an auction.
Love.
So we should be live now.
Yeah, I'm checking right now just to see.
I'm just gonna minimize.
Hello, everybody in Facebook land. Let us know if you are here and if you can see us. That would be super helpful.
Yeah.
Can we even see that?
I don't know.
I see you.
Do you see me?
Yes, we're here. We got it.
Right. Okay.
Hey, everybody. Happy Monday.
Guys. Happy Monday.
We were just talking about how wonderful Mondays are and how we're so excited to be here.
Yes, exactly. And I'm coming to you live from my bathrobe in chilly Maui, Hawaii. It's like 69 degrees here. Or no, was it less than that? 60?
No, I think you said 65, right?
65. Yeah, 65. And it's been rainy. So this is winter in Hawaii. Yeah. And it's so funny. I mean,
rainy day.
I've been wearing my Uggs and my jeans and like down like a vest, and people, and a hat.
This is what happens. This is
what happens. 65 degree weather, and I'm like bundled up like it's 40 degrees.
I know. Yesterday it was raining. I was standing outside the grocery store waiting for my husband to bring the car over, and I said to this guy that was standing there, he's like getting all ready, getting his hood on, and I said, we live in Southern California. We shouldn't be dealing with this crap. And he's like, I know. I just moved down from San Francisco, and I didn't think I was going to have to deal with this. And he goes, I know. I totally thought it never really rained here, and it was sunny all the time. He's like, yeah, that's what they advertise.
Yeah, I know.
That's how they get you here. We do have winter, people. It's not as drastic as winter, but when you're used to warm climate, it does. I mean, I got my warm sweater on today for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it's interesting because Maui, very rarely do we have this weather, but it's also kind of cozy, except, we have no heat here.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, let's get another fleece blanket on my bed.
We have heat here. Yeah. Thankfully. So
Exactly.
we're kicking it off today. We're talking about frequency tuning and how incredible that's been in our group coaching program. We're actually going to have this available for you guys as soon as we can, because it's so, I mean, it's just incredible. We take every subject of your life and we tune the frequency on it by, first of all, recognizing where you are, which is really important. We're going to talk about a little bit about that today. If we don't acknowledge where we are and we're pushing that down and we're in denial and we're trying to pretend that everything is great, you're still vibrating with it. It's still underneath and it's going to come up and you're going to get triggered by it. So frequency tuning is acknowledging where you are. It's accepting where you are. And the only way that we can get to where we want to go is if we acknowledge where we are. It's like, it's like Google Maps. You got to know where you are to know where you're going.
Incredible that's been. Sorry, I'm trying to bring it up on my phone in case. All right. Yeah. So anybody watching, be sure to say hello, tell us where you're watching from, and it's gonna be good.
Be part of this, show. And then we, Lisa and I do a really awesome release energy thing where we release these old belief systems. We acknowledge the social programmings, we acknowledge where we've been, and then we go into the new intentions, the new beliefs. And we're doing this through writing, because writing is your strongest form of focus. So then we take on the new intentions and new beliefs, and we really instill that kind of into your cellular structure. So the financial thing was so epic for us. Like there were so many downloads coming where it's like biblical, like this lack and scarcity. Literally, there's things in the Bible that have been programmed, and there's things in our movies and things, that have just been immersed in our cellular structure that we need to release and create new beliefs around.
Well, one of the biggest things that came up too was how money and love are tied together. And that was so deep for everybody in the group. It's like, it's amazing that over time, especially because of the Depression era, people were so concerned about money and how they were even going to pay to, get food on the table for their families, that suddenly the tie-in of like, okay, if I love my family, I need to sacrifice all these other things, and I'm going to, give the money for these things. So in our cellular DNA and just from our familial, generational, moving it down through, there's all this attachment about money and love and where that comes from. And now, even though it's such an abundant society and we're not in that Depression era, there's still so much tied around, what you use your money for. And it's almost like the currency of love, which is so distorted and not healthy.
Right. So it's like looking at what your intentions are behind the money that you spend and how you feel about money. Because if you hate money, you're going to push money away from you. If you hate your current conditions and you're in a place of misery where you feel like money is the root of all evil, which we've heard many of times. And if you feel like rich people are evil and wealthy people are heartless, and all of that stuff together actually keeps you apart from the abundance that is truly your birthright. So we're uncovering all that stuff, which is so amazing and life-changing.
Well, and that's to me one of the biggest things too. Again, being somebody that now has money, quote unquote, it's like people talk trash about like people with money.
Yeah.
And yet everybody wants more money. I don't know anybody that's like sitting at home like, yeah, if $1 million dropped in my lap, I'd just say, no, thanks, and it's almost like there's this huge striving toward more money, but yet down below is this really kind of like negative, people with money. What is it? Money talks.
Money talks, people walk. My dad used to say that all the time. It was like, you could have really, really good friends, but when money came into the picture, they would usually pick money over you. And he lived that experience. There's no doubt about it.
Right.
In fact, part of our estrangement was based on us having money,
Right. Yeah. Because then he saw you as like, oh, well, they're better than me.
I'm sure that's the story he still tells.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
Love. Yeah.
So it's so interesting, just all this money programming and the relationship with money, because it's like, if you view, like, look at how you view money in your life. And if you treat it like crap,
yep.
Do you think money wants to come to you when it's literally like, imagine it as your boyfriend or girlfriend or your child.
Right.
And if you treated your child or boyfriend or girlfriend or spouse that way? Would they want to hang around? Like to me, it's about loving it and knowing it's just pure energy. That's all that money is. It's just it's a
pure
currency of energy.
Exactly. And infusing it in this energy of faith and trust, knowing that our money does not come from our jobs, that money does not come from our economy, that the energy of money actually comes from divine. And Michael Bernard Beckwith, he has a book called Spiritual Liberation. And the one thing I always remember from that book is he says, as soon as you can shift into the belief system that money comes from the divine and that you are abundant, and that your well-being is all about abundance and being your birthright, then you shift into a different perspective in life, and then money just flows much more easily because you're not so scared and you're not so living in this reality of what you've created up until now, because your situation is just because of what you've been thinking and the way you've been feeling up until now, and you can shift it very quickly. Just by by the way that you feel and the way you believe about it.
Well, and that is the key right there, is it's all about the underlying belief system about money. And and so often people make decisions about, well, I don't have the money, or they want to
afford it.
I can't afford it. Like they say, they make the decision of what they're going to do based on the current situation, rather than no, choose what do you want to do in life, make that first choice, right? That decision, and then step forward. And that's when the money comes in. I mean, it's like, and it works like clockwork. I mean, again, I can tell you from
over and over.
And just recently, when I had to move out of my house and go into a $400 a night hotel, which I didn't want to spend the money on. And I did have insurance, but they weren't being clear with me about whether they were going to do it or not. And finally I just said, you know what, I'm doing this.
Just let go.
And sure enough, as soon as I just did it, I got the, okay, we cover this. And I turned in my $1,800 bill, after the week or whatever. And the next morning the money was in my,
like, boom.
Yeah. It was just so clear. And granted, but the other part of this is not to test the universe, right? Because talk a little bit about that, because people, I think, get the wrong idea of like how this.
I lived that way, where I felt like prove something. I would spend money in that energy of like, okay, I'm going to prove that this money's going to come back to me, or I'm going to prove that I'm abundant. But underneath it all, I had all this fear and like lack, feelings of lack and like scarcity, where spending money was actually, made me feel that fear, but I was in denial of it. So I would spend money, and then, we would end up like not having any.
Right. Yeah.
But it always worked out, it always was able to shift. But I think having this idea of like intentional spending, where you're not spending money to prove your abundance, you're spending from a place of like, of worthiness and knowing who you are and knowing that, it's always going to work out for you. It's different. Because you're more supported in that energy than you are like, I have to prove my worthiness, or I have to prove that, I'm abundant. So there's definitely, there's some tiny little shifts here that I think people get really confused about and mixed up in. But I think the bottom line is no matter what, it always works out.
Yeah, it always does.
Works out. We're always okay. We might have to do some finagling, and we might have to do some kind of moving things around, or calling, our bill companies and things like that. I've definitely had to do that before. But the biggest thing in all of that was not having fear. And not pushing things away and not looking at them, because a lot of times we make them way worse than if we actually looked at our situation and came up with solutions, and we were in that solution energy. So we've definitely been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so important. I mean, such a big topic, because especially now, I think our society is just so driven on, the whole money thing, and just, I don't know, it's just weird. It's just such a materialistic society that we live in general. It's everybody's wanting the latest, greatest, hottest new things. And, it's just,
and I mean, it's all about how we feel about it. So like materialism, people think materialism is bad, and that we should all just be minimalists, and we shouldn't spend money, and, we should save our money and put it away. And the truth is like all of the stuff that we're desiring and all of the material things that we're bringing in, like that's supporting somebody else in what they're doing. Right. So to me, it's like, I love beautiful furniture. I love beautiful clothes. I love beautiful, bedding. Like, I feel like I'm supporting not only my abundance and my worthiness, but I'm supporting all the people that are creating these things too. So I don't ever feel like that materialism thing. I think it's all about our intentions underneath, like
Yeah, well, that's a great
trying
point.
to fill a hole inside of us that we can only get to if we quiet our minds and sit within,
Right.
if we're distracted and not looking at our healing. I mean, there's so many things we can do to distract ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a really good point too, because you're right. I don't want to make it sound like you shouldn't have nice things or, buy
Yeah, because we
luxurious
all know
things.
Lisa likes luxury. I mean,
I
look at
like
that
luxury.
bathrobe, for crying out loud.
Yeah. Well, and I just wanted to say, we didn't even speak of this. So it is, well, it's now 8:07, but when I called Goldyn about 7:15 when I woke up, and she's got family coming in, and I'm actually going to the
grandbaby's coming.
Yeah, that's exciting. And I'm actually going to the official Ram Dass celebration of his life today at the Mac Theater here in Maui.
So
and there's
exciting.
1,200 people or something going. And so there's going to be a long line because it's all free so anyway, lots going on today. So we thought we would jump on, but I'm like, well, I'm in my bathrobe and I'm just going to, hey, talk about being real. I'm just sitting here having my first cup of tea and being cozy here in this 65-degree weather.
I love it. You have the right bathrobe for it, so it's all good.
So the other thing, we had a really great conversation over the weekend about the idea of, especially Abraham, because you and I are both followers, and you're a devotee, but then you also stepped away because sometimes I feel like these I don't know what you'd call them.
I think they're influencers, influencers and spiritual teachers and people that are channeling, that are channeling divine energy. I mean, just like us, like I think Lisa and I don't want to be put in this category of like, we're your gurus and we have the answers and all of that. We're just we want to do this as a community, and we want to call more life through all of us and give us all new perspectives. And you guys help us do that just by being here. So I think it's really easy for us to look at other, people or beings as these, that they have all the answers.
Right.
And I mean, Abraham will say it's not anything that Esther Hicks is doing wrong. She's just been put in a position where people look at her as having all the answers because she's opened her channel to the divine. But the truth is we all have this ability.
Right. And she even says that in certain places. Again, she has so many teachings, but I know some extreme Abrahamers, mm-hmm. and I feel like I just want to talk about this kind of, frankly, because I also feel like you can misinterpret some of her teachings to be like, you're never supposed to feel your feelings. You're supposed to basically deny reality, which I understand to a degree, because if you're broke and you just sit there in that brokenness, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you do need to step out of your reality to be able to feel a different vibration, right?
There's so much energy and action. So it's like, if you're sitting there waiting for things to get better, when Mike and I first started listening to this stuff, we resonated, like it lit us both up. And at the time we were both in the Catholic Church, and it kind of went against the Catholic teaching. So there was that part of it. And also the channeling part was very uncomfortable for us. Like, mm-hmm. we didn't get that. That felt, like woo woo, and it felt like could be the devil. I don't know. Like we just had to ignore that piece of it for a minute, because the truth was like literally lighting us up. But we got stuck in that for a while because we felt like, and this was when the whole economy thing went down, like in 2008, we would go for walks and try to feel really good, try to feel really good and pretend like our financial situation wasn't gutting us from the inside. And the truth was, it just got worse and worse and worse because we weren't taking any action towards it. I mean, we were in a network marketing company and we were trying really hard with that, but Mike was denying that he ever had to do construction again because he was so, turned off by the whole situation. It had just been such a gaping wound for him. And we just didn't really know what to do. So we were taking that advice and listening really literally to the Abraham teachings. And we really got stuck for a little while. And I've noticed that in a lot of the Abraham groups is that people kind of sit there and wait and try to feel good, but they're not aligning with the energy of abundance when you're doing that. You always feel better if you're fucking broke. Like if you're really broke and you're just sitting in your house all day wishing, hoping, and praying something's going to happen, it might happen, but most likely it's not going to happen. Like, you've got to get out there. And that's what Mike started doing, is we started just getting out there and like networking or going for coffee or just like putting ourselves in places where we could align with opportunities, which is exactly what happened to him that shifted everything. So I just don't recommend that, like, trying to feel good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And even like the whole affirmation thing and, sitting, I mean, I get it, like sitting for 17 seconds in that high vibe and just imagining that it's just going to magically shift. That there's so many layers in our subconscious that need to be,
right. Which our
shifted.
meditations are really good for that. Because meditations with the tones and our voice and all the things that we channeled are bringing in that to change the subconscious. And just really that frequency tuning, like, acknowledge where you are, acknowledge how crappy you feel, acknowledge how scared you feel. Because once you get it out, you transform it.
Well, that's the key. And that's right there. You just hit the nail on the head to me, because to me, Abraham does not want you to acknowledge how you're currently feeling, because then you're in that, bad energy or low vibe or whatever. Whereas to me, like my Letting Go book by David R. Hawkins, it's all about acknowledging and feeling what you're feeling so it can come out. It's energy that's stuck in your body.
Yep.
So if you don't let that energy out, you don't acknowledge it, then it just sits there and festers. And that's how, to me, disease gets created,
So true. Disease and the feeling of being completely stuck in your life where you're not moving forward, and or you have these cyclical natures in your life where something keeps happening the same way, relationships, money, you just find yourself in the same exact situation over and over again
with different
you got to
players.
look within. You got to find out why is this world reflecting this to me?
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the key. So really, to me, is that it's going within, and that's what we're here to tell each and every one of you. Like this whole meditation thing, it's about sitting and really tapping in, because everybody has their own answers. We don't want to be the guru. We aren't the gurus. We are. I feel like we're signposts, just like, hey guys,
I'm not your guru.
No, like, here, check. This has been working for us, so we just wanted to share, and so don't give your power away.
And expand collectively. I think that is probably one of the main reasons that Lisa and I started the Real Ones, is that the expansion process, like to do that in a community and collectively is so powerful. It's what's going to shift the world. Mm-hmm. Like if we keep looking at our current conditions and our current, I'm not going to go political on you guys, but if we keep getting miserable about what is happening in the political world, we are not helping. We are adding the misery and the problem energy. If we can step back into our lives and create the highest vibe possible, become the most powerful creators that we were meant to be, then we are the ones that are going to shift the world, not our politicians.
Yeah. Well, we were just talking that, like the whole situation in the politics right now, it's truly the time where the darkness is showing itself, so that we can all see the darkness within and just reflect that. Where are we? Mm-hmm.
Exactly. It's creating that contrast, because we've all kind of been like okay with the way things have been. So it's creating great contrast, which is creating great desire in people, which is going to create the great change that's going to, sweep through. And, when you think about getting deep, like parallel universes, it's like, what world do you want to live in? Do you want to live in a world where you feel powerless against this stuff, where you're, disgusted by our situation in our world? Or do you want to be that piece of change and love and joy and abundance and show other people how it's done?
Absolutely. And one of the best remedies is stop watching the news. I mean, truly. And I don't, people are like, oh, you're just sticking your head in the sand. No, it's not. It's making a choice of what I feed into my brain and what I want to feel every day. Because if I'm watching the news and it makes me feel disgusting, or I don't like what's happening,
worried or fearful,
all of those, all you're doing is feeding yourself this like poison. So why do that, and then on the other hand, so if, don't watch the news, but then take inspired action. If in your community, you want to start changing, run for government, I don't know, but like do something in action that is going to shift how you feel about the current situation. And if that's, just finding your own joy, then do that.
then that makes a difference. And,
Yeah.
I got news for you. Most of the news is fake anyways.
Oh my gosh.
We
Right.
don't even know what to believe. So
I,
it's like, if you buy into this,
yeah.
then, I just think that there was a woman I was actually, I had a session with this woman once, and she was saying that she watches the news, and she's somewhat like, I don't want to say addicted to it, but she really felt like it was something she felt inspired to do, to watch the news. And she
Right.
did it from the perspective of solutions. So she would watch the news, and she would let the desires come, and she would picture the world differently, and all the solutions that came along with that. And I was like, we need people like you. We need people like you to pay attention, just like we need the people that are outraged about it right now, because that's creating more desire. That's going to pull more life through us and create change. So we need all of us, we need all of the different perspectives, because no one's
Yeah.
wrong. Like, if you want to watch the news and be pissed off about it, then who are we to say you shouldn't? But the train that we're on is about living your life joyfully and fully and from your power. So if you feel like you're a victim watching that stuff, then I would suggest that you don't watch it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. If it just like, all you need to do is just feel in your body. What do you feel like when you're watching it? Is it uplifting you? Is it making you like jazz? Like, oh my God, I'm going to go out and do something and change the world. And this is fueling my desire to make things better in this world. Then yay, go for it. Binge watch all that stuff. But if you sit there and it just makes you feel enraged and angry and aggressive,
and then you spew it all over social media.
Yeah, that's the other thing I don't understand.
Not
I mean,
helpful.
seriously, like,
It's just
yeah, that would be the other thing I'd say. Just stop. Like, if you enjoy it, great, but you don't have to like just vomit it all over social media.
What you focus on expands, right?
Right.
So
totally.
But I do believe that this current situation is cleaning a lot of stuff up for us. So it's all good in in respect. It's all good. It's all, there's great reason for all of it.
Absolutely.
So there was something else that I wanted to touch on. What was it? Do you remember?
We were definitely going to talk about frequency tuning.
This was kind of interesting. This has to do with our retreat, which we are so pumped for.
Yes.
We are going to be doing some stuff with the retreat. We're gonna have a call for people that are interested, that maybe need some encouragement or need some visualization exercises, some belief systems around being able to connect with the financial support to do this. So that's awesome. But we had met with a wonderful caterer, and we really felt like, this person was the person who was going to do this for us. And after a conversation and a Zoom call with her, I didn't feel good about it. And Lisa, just such a wonderful friend, and it's why our friendship works so well, helped me drill down about that. And then I got really curious about it and just like what was bothering me. And one of the biggest things was that my style of eating, I didn't feel like was acknowledged. And my style of eating is paleo. Like, I like to eat meat. And honestly, I've just really shifted into being strong about this and no longer apologizing for it, and saying, my body thrives on meat. I eat organic, grass-fed, cruelty-free meat, and I feel like I support those companies that do that. So I'm doing my part in that. But I just realized that I've been really apologizing for eating this way, like not necessarily like out there, but like within my own being. Like, I've had this guilt and shame because I hang out with a lot of vegans and vegetarians. So I I shouldn't be doing this, like I'm not awakened enough because I still eat meat. That was one of the thoughts that I cleared this week. And just shifting into this like really high protein diet, not totally protein. I'm not keto or anything, but I feel so good. And going within and asking myself like what I really need and what makes me feel really good is the basis to creating the best possible life, because now I'm energized and now I feel good about myself, and now I'm not apologizing anymore for the way that I eat or trying to eat some way. Like, literally eating vegetarian or vegan, I do not feel good. I have bloating. I don't have any energy. I had a little bit more carbs this weekend than I normally do, and my workout today was not great. So I'm really listening, and I think that's important. So we decided to just not go with this person. And then Lisa had this incredible idea of this other restaurant who is like all on board with what we want to do and isn't asking us for stuff that we don't want to provide right now, like numbers or money or anything like that. So, and we ended up like really, I think, making a really conscious decision for both of us, which I think is going to support the retreat. and the people that
Absolutely.
come, right?
Yeah.
Aligning
Oh
with
my
everyone
gosh.
that comes and acknowledging, hey, if you eat meat, it's okay. If you don't, it's okay, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I love, and it was just such a clear moment of, again, this first person that came to us was so highly recommended. And I was just like, oh, this is great. You know, she's available. This is going to work. And then I was so happy that Goldyn, you know, really wanted to get curious and be like, I don't know, I'm just not feeling it. I don't know why. And so when she realized that it was really that she felt not supported, because when she mentioned, you know, that she eats paleo, it's like, okay, we'll just add, you know, a couple pieces of meat and some hard-boiled eggs. You know, it was just like, wait a minute. And then the next person I talked to after we got really clear about what we wanted, and then boom, this other person popped into my mind.
Right?
Totally. And I love their food. I go there many times. It's a beautiful, yummy restaurant. And I called and she just said, I said, well, it's going to be interesting because we've got vegan, vegetarians, and paleo eaters. And she said, oh my God, that is so easy, you know? And I was just like, what? This is so easy.
Nobody has to apologize for that.
No. And she, I mean, she's willing, she's like, anything, whatever you guys need or want, I am here for you. I will, you know, I'll make 15 or 20 different meals or whatever it takes to make sure you guys are happy. And I mean, wow, talk about, you know, being supportive and
totally. And I think one of the biggest lessons I learned from that is like how often do we do this thing? Like, I shouldn't feel this way. Like, Lisa loves this and she really wants to go with this. So I should just accept it and I should just be okay with it and it'll be okay. Right. Like I'll deal with it. I'll get through it. And it's like, this is about asking for what we want and getting really clear about what we want and unapologetic about it.
Yes.
You know, right? And you are doing a fantastic job of asking for what you want and stepping into that place of power, because otherwise, what are we doing? Like, we're just conceding all the time and we're telling ourselves we shouldn't feel certain ways. And then we're denying that expression of who we really are, which doesn't do anybody any good.
Absolutely. And I feel like this is kind of like beaten out of us as children, you know, it's like, it's always like, you know, say please and think, and again, not to be not polite. I mean, I think politeness.
No, the big saying when I was growing up is you get what you get and you don't get upset.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Because if you do, you're a spoiled brat.
Right. Well, right.
I used to hear that a lot.
Yeah, and asking for what we want. Yeah. Asking for what we want, you know, makes us spoiled. And yet if we all ask for what we want, everybody would be happier. It would just be more, you know, congenial, and
there would be less resentments and less things running underneath the surface that we're all not acknowledging.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah. Cause that's it.
It's flow better. Things would flow better for us because like, if we had gone with this initial person, I don't know what I'm sure it would have been fine, but there would have been a lot of things that we would have had to, you know, just gone with that didn't feel right for us.
Yeah.
So I feel like the retreat is even going to be a higher vibe because we're listening and we're doing this intuitively.
Yeah. And again, we're working through our stuff, just like we're going to be working, you know, with everybody on the retreat, you know.
And guys, there's so much time before this retreat. Like, I love that we launched this like a couple months before, because there's so much that you can do energetically, but also physically to be able to do this. Like, seriously, like how much money do you really need in like this 6 month? I mean, we could break it down into numbers to tell you what you need to do like every week just to be able to have this happen for yourself, or just like leap in faith and commit to it and do it, because it's going to change your freaking life. Like, we're going to do frequency training in your face,
right?
You know? Like, we're going to be taking you guys, we're going to be upping the vibe so much because we're going to be able to work with you on it right there. See?
Sorry.
Tuck
Yeah.
says
My
go.
Tux,
says
my
go.
dog is like,
Don't
yes. Tux, come here, puppy. No. I don't know
Tux
what.
is unapologetically being himself.
Yes, he is. He's just barking at the black kitty out there, I think.
I
so.
love it.
That was a total affirmation. Around here, whenever a gecko chirps, you know, when something is said, it's like, oh, truth. So I've got my little dog. Just
got your little gecko.
Yeah, my little gecko.
I love it. I love it. And then the thing that happened to us this weekend. So our anniversary is on Valentine's Day. And we were talking about my father-in-law is here and shouldn't be left alone really for very long. So we have teenagers that are very helpful. They're good. They're awesome kids, but they're both in relationships. So Valentine's Day is kind of off the table to ask them to do anything for us. Plus Valentine's Day, we don't usually go out because they jack the prices up and we're just like, that's just silly. So we decided, I'm like, well, we could do it this weekend because Emma was already hanging out with my father-in-law because we had a dance thing. I'm like, we could just leave the dance thing early. We saw our daughter dance and it just was the most perfect weekend. Like the place that we stayed, it rained. So it was this cute little cozy, like canyon style. Oh my God, the ranch in Laguna Beach. I want to do a retreat there. This place is off the hook. Like the food is farm to table. They have organic gardens. Like I had the most amazing omelet yesterday, just like fresh vegetables. It is upscale, but it is so worth it. Yeah. So our Southern California retreat, I really feel like needs to be there. Cool. And you are surrounded by trees. And if you drive down, it's probably a mile to the PCH. And the PCH, if you've never been on it, Pacific Coast Highway, very loud, very noisy, lots of cars, very busy. The ocean is like right there across the street, but you would never know it because you're like tucked and nestled in this little.
Beautiful.
It's amazing. So
well,
when you think that something's impossible, it's not. Just open your scope to like what can happen and what can we do. And we really needed it, and it really filled us up to do what we have to do for the next couple of weeks.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Wow, that is amazing. And it is so true about the, you know, you can do anything. Like the few times, like for example, the very first time I came to Maui, it was literally like just making a couple phone calls and then booking an airplane ticket. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm in Maui. Like what, like that was so easy, you know, or
isn't that funny?
Anytime I've traveled, you know, like when I traveled with my daughter to Southeast Asia, it was just like, oh my God, all I did was type a few keys in and like buy a ticket. And next thing I know, I'm getting on an airplane and flying to Cambodia. Like what is happening? Like it's so easy. But it's,
I know, but people give
resistance.
Themselves reasons why they can't do it. And I understand like people are, you know, they've got their financial situations because I've totally been there. I get that. But if you can just get yourself out of that, just get yourself out of that and say, I'm worthy of this. I'm worthy to do this. This is what my heart is calling me to do. Then boom, it's all going to work out.
Yeah, I love it. I know. And I can't wait to see all the amazing stories that come up.
I know. All the miracles and different things that are going to align so that people can
let me just say hello to a few people.
Yeah, we got some people on.
Yeah, Jana and Omar and Andy, Heidi.
Yeah.
Hi from the UK. Andy Brooks. Yeah, looks like. And Jan. Hey, Jan. How are you? From Portland. Katie Louise. Hey, Katie. Jenny Mack. Awesome. Tammy. Omar. I think I already mentioned her. Hey, Jenna Morris and Jen Swick. And Thomas.
Wow, we got a crowd here. I always feel like we're talking to ourselves, apparently.
I know, right? It's so cool to have you guys on live. So if there's hey Gwen, nice to see you.
Gwen has been so great in the group, and I really want to encourage other people to get in this group and post more. Like post your manifestation stories, post what's challenging you right now. Like,
oh my gosh,
we want to create this community of love and support and feeling like you have people here. I mean, as much as it's an internet group, it's like, because we're doing these things like Hawaii and God knows what else we're going to do.
Yeah.
We are a family and we can come together physically and just up-level this whole experience together.
Well, and I just want to, again, mention Gwen. If you guys haven't read Gwen's post, you can go into the group and type her name and you'll see that she has just been up-leveling and shifting, and things that she thought were not available to her are happening,
becoming available. Exactly.
It was almost like, and my whole body is chilling. I mean, it's like she said, I think it was like she forgot she could dream, you know, that she could actually, you know, do something different. And as soon as she gave herself permission to dream, all of a sudden it was like, oh my gosh, my whole body is just chilling. But it was almost like the universe just magically just, you know,
well, and it's like all of these things were there, and it's like now she's inviting them in, you know, like we have all this energy available to us, and when we acknowledge it and start to remember that we have this power, we start to invite it in, and then we start to see evidence of it, which is really cool.
And that's the thing. So yeah, we would love for you to share your experiences. And again, if it's not working, let us know. Like, that's the whole point. We're here to support you and to, you know, give you, again, little guideposts we don't want to be your guru,
Nope.
but we want to be able to support you on this journey of up leveling and quantum leaping. And Gwen just said, David and I read our Quantum Speak chapter this morning. They're reading it together, which I think is so cool. And then they have a discussion about it, and they're on their way to Santa Fe. I mean, I love Gwen. I worked with Gwen last year, and
amazing. I have too. I love her.
Yeah, she's
the real deal. Gwen's the real deal.
Yeah, absolutely. And so here she is, up leveling, and she's so excited. And like you said, it's waiting. It's kind of like that vortex thing, right? You put it into your vortex. You've been thinking and putting it out there, but you never really think it can come true. But you got to take action to allow it to
keep yourself apart from it for some reason. Like you're wishing and you're hoping and you're living in the lack of it. It's like if the first thing that came to you when we announced the Hawaii retreat was, oh, I really wish I could do that, then reach out to us, because that wish, that hope, that little seed inside of your heart that is saying, I want that to be possible, is the energy that actually creates it. So all we have to do is amp that energy up.
Yeah, it's just water the seed, right? Exactly. Water the seed and let it bloom, and it's.
So we're going to do that probably next week. We want to get a group together and do a Zoom and create a recording for you guys for visualization, so that we can really make this happen for everybody.
Yeah.
And anybody who wants to, because it's totally freaking possible. Totally possible.
Yeah. Yeah. So exciting. Oh my gosh.
I know.
Awesome. Well, I guess that's it for now, right? You've got your little grandbaby coming in.
My grandbaby is going to be here in 10 minutes.
Oh,
and I haven't seen her since Christmas. So
wow. Okay.
Yeah, we're excited. I talked to her on the phone this morning, and she is something. She's she's 2.5. So
wow.
She's perfect. She's so perfect.
That's so great. That's so awesome.
And for her poppy to see her great grandpa.
Oh yeah. Wow. Oh, that's really amazing. Well, I know you're in the new grandbaby phase, and my daughter just got engaged and has set her wedding for July 4th. So I'm in
so excited.
Mother of the bride.
And
it's in Southern California. So you're actually going to be there.
I know. I feel so blessed that I got invited.
Yeah.
That'll be my first 4th of July wedding.
I know, right? It's going to be great. I'm like, what a great date to get married. They're going to have fireworks every year on their anniversary.
That's so cool.
I know. I'm so happy.
All right, you guys, let us know what you need. We're going to be launching stuff to help assist you very soon.
Yeah.
And if you haven't gotten our meditation recordings, they are epic. You can get those on our site, therealones.com. It's a great way to get yourself in that receiving mode and to release these subliminal, subconscious messages that are keeping you apart from what you want, and to plant your money garden. Hello. Yeah, who doesn't want to grow more money?
That's right. Let's bring it on.
And then our books are available too. Lisa, where's your book? Is your book on Amazon?
It's on Amazon. Yep. Art of Living Happy After the Loss of a Loved One.
Yeah. Lisa's book is beautiful and inspiring, and it's just helpful, especially if you're going through a grieving period. Yeah. And then Quantum Speak is also available on Amazon. Super short book to teach you how to manifest.
Yeah, very cool. And also be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We go before we got before and after extra video stuff when you go there.
Yeah, we're gonna hop over there now and do.
We're gonna hop over there now and pull some cards, see what
have some fun, have some YouTube fun.
Exactly.
I do have this mantra that I'm a YouTube sensation, so I think I need your help with this, people.
Well, apparently one of the guys who won an Oscar last night was an NFL player, and he put it out there 8 years ago that he was going to win an Oscar, and he won it last night. So
I mean, that's the way it's done.
You got to speak it. You got to speak it into.
Yeah, and actually Billie Eilish too. I guess Billie Eilish I didn't watch the Oscars, but I've heard a lot about it from Facebook. Billie Eilish and her brother, when she was 15 years old, her brother said, "I'm going to make you one of the most famous people in the world." And in her little bedroom, look her up. Her story is incredible. She's very, very talented. My daughter follows her quite a bit. But look her up, because they did it. They called it in, and here she is, killing it.
That is awesome. Oh, Gwen just said, wait, plant your money garden. Oh, I love that. Yeah, Gwen, have you not gotten
Yeah, hop over therealonez.com, get yourself some meditations. There's like 8 recordings on there.
Yeah, 8
They're super
recordings.
helpful, and they're all channeled. You probably can't even tell me from Lisa.
Oh, I know. People are like, they think, I don't know what they think, but
it's the same vibration.
It is the same vibration. Our voices sound very similar on there, and they're also done with theta music, so it's actually altering the brain waves when you're listening to it. So it's super deep, super powerful.
Helps to clean that stuff up.
So excellent.
All right. We love you guys.
Love you guys.
See you soon. Hopping over to YouTube. Peace out. Peace.
All right. That was awesome.
That was a good show.
That was a good yeah, we covered a lot of territory there.
It's funny when I think about doing the show, sometimes I'm like, what are we going to talk about? And then
oh my God.
Can't stop it.
You can't stop it. We get on, I feel like we're on a vibrational like river or something that just keeps going and going.
All right. So what are we pulling cards for today? Because we talked about like 8 million different things.
I know. What do you think? Something about the what is it? Vibrational. What is it? What do we call that? Frequency tuning.
Yeah. Like vibrational alignment. Like,
yeah.
What is said about that? I'm curious about that because that is really scientific. The whole frequency tuning thing is very scientific. I mean, it's based on quantum physics.
Oh, wow.
So, and identity creation, you know, creating the identity of what you really want to create in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we say about frequency? Because frequency tuning was a download to me. So this is a process that I don't think has ever been.
Exactly. I love it. Well, it's so, I love the cards. So the first one, which is the blockage, is joy. And I feel like so often people feel like they can't actually have what they really want. You know?
Well, and also it goes along with our conversation today. It's what we're paying attention to.
Yeah.
If we're paying attention to our political situation, we are not finding joy there.
No.
Right.
No. Right. So that's the blockage. It's just like, you know, your vibrational alignment with joy is not there because you're focused on everything beyond, you know,
it's not working or it's not great or it's not coming into your experience.
Yeah. And my whole body is chill. And it's right in the heart. I mean, just where that little, it's like flowing out. That's exactly where it feels like right now. Like that energy is just like, yeah, because you're so, you know, so the frequency tuning is beginnings, right? It's like really, yeah.
I love that.
It's like owning, like for the first time in our lives, being aware and conscious of what you are calling in, that you can choose and that you can unearth. And oh my gosh, my whole body is just like, you can unearth all of the stuff that doesn't feed you and doesn't, you know, and so it's a new beginning for you. What are you getting on that?
Yeah. And these are like, almost like these are new ideas to people. Like you were saying how Gwen had said she forgot how to dream or forgot that we even have the potential to dream, because sometimes dreaming puts us in a place of like, oh, I wish I didn't even want that, because even wanting to go to Hawaii right now is making me feel bad, you know? Yeah. So in this new beginning, this new world order that we're calling, it's about taking your power back and deciding that I can have whatever it is that my heart is calling me to, I can have it.
That's right. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And it reminds me too of like when I have channeled, you know, passed away loved ones, they're just like, oh my God, if I had known that I could do anything, I would have lived my life so much more fully and so much more freer and just, oh wow, this is just so like, I'm glad I have this fuzzy, cozy robe on because I'm just like almost chilling because this is so, and then guess what? This is the perfect outcome card.
Oh my gosh. I've never even seen that card before. Oh, that's
voyage.
Cool.
So not only is it a voyage to Hawaii for the retreat, I mean, it's your whole life. It's like, yeah, get on your voyage, you know, jump on the boat and like go where you're meant to go where your joy is calling you.
Make life an adventure instead of this mundane paying of your bills. Make it an adventure. Ask yourself, what can I do? How can I do it? How can we make this possible? When you start asking those questions, you are literally inviting in divine energy to show you the way.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not doing this on my own because on my own it looks impossible. But if I invite in divine energy, anything is possible.
I know. People say to me all the time, you know, like, oh my God, you're so lucky that you live in Maui. And I'm like, it was a decision. Like, it's not about luck. It's about making the decision. And I know people here that make no money. I mean, like people are living on $1,000 a month here and they're making it work, you know? So it's not about, everyone's like, oh, it's so expensive. It's expensive everywhere, people. Like if you want to do something different than you're doing, it's a matter of just, you know, making the choice,
making the decision. Like when we decided that we were going to move to California, we did not have the resources for that.
Right.
It was a 5-month period that we created the little tiny nest that got us here, and then it disappeared quickly. And then it was just about living from faith and trust and moving forward in action, always in action, creating and believing, like knowing that we had come too far to fail.
Absolutely. And I know, and even that, like even a 5-month cushion is more than most, you know, you don't even need that in my opinion, you know, like
and we never had that before. That was the hysterical thing, is we always had this thing like, oh, we can't save money. And then all of a sudden we had purpose and we had a drive, and it was like, I mean, so many miracles happened to create that little
exactly. Yeah. Which was beautiful. And that's for everybody, like anybody and everybody. It's just a matter of making a decision and leaning forward and listening and, you know, getting that support.
And if you don't believe it, then just ride on our belief right now, because our belief can get you there.
Absolutely.
And then as you see evidence of it, your belief will grow.
Well, and that's what I love. That's why you and I work so well together. Cause like when you're in your doubtful moments, I'm like, no, you've got this, you've got this. And same with me, you know, I'm like, oh my God, I think I'm done here. You're like, no, you're not, keep going. I'm like, okay. You know,
luckily we both haven't wanted to drive off the cliff together
at the same time. Yeah. Well, and thankfully we would both have to like either get on an airplane or like
have time to think about it.
We'd have time to readjust before we actually did that. But,
and interestingly, since we started the Real Ones, we have not had moments like that.
So
living purposely, there's a lot to be said to living purposely.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking your truth all the time, having a forum to express yourself is a big part of being here. I think Joaquin Phoenix said it last night. Again, didn't watch the Oscars, but I caught a little bit of his speech. And he said, you know, just being able to have a voice in this world just gives you so much purpose. Yeah. Whether it's in your little world or in the big world, it doesn't matter, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking your
Amazing.
Truth. It's huge.
Yeah. Love it.
All right. Well, I got a grandbaby pulling in any second.
All right.
Well, flipping out. Oh, she's arrived. All right.
Oh my God. That's
Love
it.
you guys.
Bye.